Drake's reaction to Joe Budden's critique of his album. It was interesting that an artist of the size of Drake replying to the criticism of Joe Budden for his album. Personally, I believe that Joe Budden is actually somebody who likes Drake. And when I was listening to the podcast, I don't think the critic was that harsh. I understood what Joe meant. Now, you can agree with it or not, but he was more a critic from somebody who respects what you do, because Joe seems to really know a thing or two about Drake songs. Like when I was listening to it, I didn't feel like I didn't feel that damn, this guy is criticizing just to criticize. And then Drake got into his feelings, and it's interesting because it put the internet on fire. And all you have one side saying, yeah, there you go, you scorched him from the face of the earth, and you have the other side saying, Joe was right. And then people who are fan of both are like, well, listen, I understand what this one meant, and I also understand why this one has to do what he wants. And listen, again, when you do a body of work, I believe that you have put some Rambos in the chat if you're still here listening, because this chat is just, you might be talking and nobody's here. I removed the YouTube studio thing. I don't even, normally I have something to make sure that I'm still live and not talking to nobody. Let me go back to the control room. There it is. All right, good. Okay, you guys are still here. Good. Yeah, I believe. So yeah, as I was saying, let me quit Final Cut. All right. Yeah, as I was saying, when you are a public person, you do a movie, you do an album, you do something. Yes, after that, some people are gonna have critics. Some people will say I liked it. Some people will say I didn't like it. And yes, something might get under your skin, but you have to be stronger than that. And when you are at the size of a Drake, you're gonna have criticism, and you're gonna have the good and the bad. And listen, I believe that you have to go over this, or maybe you're doing this for content, you're doing this for rollout, you're doing this to create a buzz around your release, which in this case, what I would do after that would call Joe and say, hey, I want to come to your show and defend my project. And that would be an amazing content. If you are for the content, I believe that would be an amazing rollout, to have the conversations and to be able to explain. But maybe you believe you're over this. And it goes with what I reply to all these people on Twitter. Instead of telling to these people on Twitter, hey, this is what I meant, so that people can calm down, I said to myself, you guys are not on the level to talk to me. So, can I at the same time criticize Drake for his answer when that's exactly what I did? Well, I believe that these idiots didn't know what they were talking about. So, I think I did the right thing because I know Twitter. I know that's the sewer of the internet. And I believe that Drake being in his feeling and answering to the critic the way he did, being in your feelings, I understand. But the arguments of I'm richer than you and you're a failed rapper feels to me the same as, hey, don't talk about politics, stick to singing, that I receive when I talk about politics. And that's what I didn't like about these people on Twitter. That's what I did. That's why I replied the way I replied. I was like, don't tell me I don't know nothing about politics when I know more about politics than most of you. Because I walked with many presidents, talked to them. I've been in politics my whole life. So this is here the difference for me. And that's why I was like, nah, it's not worth it having conversation. And actually I continued the conversation with smart people after that, but not the emotional people. I don't want to have conversations with them. So that's why I believe that Drake's answer, yeah, it was great content for the internet, but I believe it was it was lacking argumentation. It's like, listen, I don't like your I don't feel that your criticism is constructive. You have the right to. I disagree with what you say. You have the right to as well. But telling me I'm richer than you, so your critic has no value, I was like, okay, that's kind of weak as an answer. On that level, listen, if somebody's telling you, hey, I'm in my 40s and you're about to be in your 40s, you should make music for me instead of making music for the young people, you could reply, hey, I just want to stay current. And yes, I'm making music for the young people because, yeah, those are the ones who buy my music and I represent everybody. And there's also something for everybody, which is something I do all the time. It's a critic that I received my whole life when it comes to music. Hey, why are you doing music for the West Indies when you are from Congo? I heard that 1,000 times. But then after that, people from Congo started saying, yeah, you are our representative. You are the one who made us love Zouk. You are the one who built the bridge between the cultures. You are the one who actually represent us out there. We are proud of you. This is after 30 years. This is what it became. People are like, yo, oh my God, I never thought you were from Congo. Oh, I always thought you were from the West Indies. I always thought you were from Guadeloupe. You from Congo? Oh my God, I love you even more. This is where we are today. But back in the days, yeah, I would receive these kind of things like, who do you think you are? Like, and even from the West Indies, I would receive that. Yeah, why do you believe that you can come and do our music? And yeah, I was number one at the time. And sometimes I really wanted to reply to people. Yeah, I'm the Zouk king. I don't care what you think. But there was a validity in the question. And you had to reply, hey, listen, I'm multicultural. I'm worldwide. So, and music is freedom. So that's why I do the music from the countries that I want. And I just do the music that I want, that inspire me. And listen, I live there. So I don't believe that if you're born somewhere, you have to limit to yourself to whatever is done there. And this is a better answer than saying, yeah, I'm still the best. See what I mean? So when I was reading Drake's answer to Joe's criticism, and it was more criticism of the timestamp raps where Drake's is actually showcasing his rap abilities. And he was like, on the podcast, Joe knew what he was talking about, meaning that the different timestamp, he was saying the which one he believes are the best one. They were saying they like the Atlanta, then the Toronto one, then the New York one, and all these things. It seemed like more a conversation between fans of somebody's music more than haters. And Drake came to me a little bit across as somebody that doesn't want to be criticized at all, and doesn't care if the critic is constructive or not. It was just that, hey, you criticize me, you get it. So he went on Twitter and etc. etc. And listen, he makes everybody talk, so he makes the album stream. Listen, I probably already passed 100 million stream, or probably 20, 30, 40 million streams since the album came out. He's gonna make his money. People are gonna love it. I don't believe Joe was hating. And go listen to the episode. But it was interesting when I was reading this. Let me see. What was it? Drake fired back at Joe Budden for all the Dog's criticism. You have failed at music. I mean, listen, it's me. If somebody tells me, hey, Kay, listen, I heard your latest album, your album number 10, Bent to Royalty, and I believe that, I don't know, you keep doing the same thing or whatever, or there's too much of my piano in there. We want you to go back to the One Love style. This is something people tell me all the time. And if an artist replied this to me, if my answer is, I make more money than you, it's a little immature. It's to me, I believe that's that answer is immature. My answer usually to this type of criticism is, guys, the song you are loving, the songs from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I love them too, but as an artist, I want to evolve. I want to do new things. And you can still go back to listening to these music. And I have a ton of songs of that style that you guys don't even listen to. Go check them out. Or this type of song you're talking about, they are in the album. There's a lot of things people tell me, and I'm like, did they listen to the album? But I don't reply to them, hey, listen, I'm rich and I live in front of the water and you don't. And that's why, to me, like, the answer was a little, listen to the answer. So the pushback of the criticism for all the dogs, during a recent episode of the Joe Budden podcast, the retired rapper took aim at the 36-year-old Toronto MC, saying Dreezy is rapping for the kids and needs to start writing music for older audience. It's an opinion. I don't believe it's an opinion. And I understand the counterbalance of this, to say, listen, I'm writing music for the people who buy it. The older people, you guys are cool, but you don't buy it. Listen, I have the same exact conversation with people. I had the same conversation with Buddy when we were talking about music, and I was telling Buddy, listen, stop making music for the 3,000 house fans that are your core fans, but they don't buy your music, they don't stream. You have to make music for the people that are streaming your music on Spotify. There's 120,000 people that are listening to you every month. You have to understand what they're listening to, and you have to give them more of that. And when you do it, you're going to have criticism from the 3,000 people that say, you changed. Those people, you will tell them, hey, if you want that type of music, then go stream it or go buy it. When I do albums, go buy the full album so that I can pay pay my rent, and then I give you more of what you want. And actually, in a world where you can release music every week, and you just can release whatever you want, you do what I do. I release songs every Friday so that I can serve everybody. I can serve my Zouk people once a month minimum, and then I can try some of my piano when I want, some house music, whatever. We've never been more free than today. So as an artist, as long as you know who's streaming what, you can actually serve everybody. You can serve your 3,000 loyal from 20 years ago and give them the candy Zouk from back in the days. And then you can serve the people who are loving something going on and give them a remix of something going on every month. And then you can serve your new fans, because you can see when you look at your data what people are listening. And you can look at the age of everybody and where they are. So if people love my Zouk tracks, I have to give some Zouk track to those people. People love my house music track and it's only 100 people. Yeah, I'll still give you something for these people too. And that's the beauty of the internet today. You can really organically serve people as groups, and then sometimes you have a track that makes everybody happy. And that was my conversation with Buddy. I was like, if you keep making music thinking of the criticism of the 3,000 people who don't buy your music, you lose the money from the 100,000 people who are actually streaming your music every day. So you have to find the right balance in sometimes making music for free, I would say, with no expectation of success, and then making music that matters. And for some artists, it's a fight between themselves, and I love to have the conversation with Buddy soon in one episode. Sometimes it's a struggle for the artists because they are themselves thinking the same way as the purist. But it's not the purist who makes the market. The market is made of way more people. If you want to stay in a niche, you have to find a niche that pays you. If you have the 3,000 people that are willing to all give you $10 a day, it makes you $30K a month, you're good. You can just do niche music for these people. But if those people want to criticize and at the same time they don't want to pay you to do what they want, fuck them. I'd rather have 100,000 people giving me 10 cents every month. In the end, you get 10K every month. So mathematics. And so you have to know exactly as an artist how to answer to people or how to not answer, or how to, instead of having an emotional answer like the one I saw, maybe go sit down with the people and have a real conversation with them, to not sound like you are feeling that you are too high to have conversation with people who have voices that matter. And so Joe say he rapping for the children. Yo, dog, I had to look up how old this nigga was when I finished listening to the album. You're 36, your birthday in 20 days. Hey, listen, Joe Budden's gonna speak the way he talks. Stop doing music for these 25 years old, etc., etc. I want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people. He's rapping for the kids, the streams, the accolades. He ain't trying to rap for me. And I accept that. He said, I accept that. I mean, I can understand how this could bruise your ego a little bit, but I believe that is a constructive criticism. And I believe the answer could be, yeah, bro, I'm rapping for the streams. Listen, when I make music myself, I always ask myself the same question. Damn, I've been live for 2 hours. What's wrong with me? When I make music myself, I always ask myself, okay, this song, is it for the streams or is it for me? Or is it for my old fans or etc.? And that's the way I release projects. I have this EP coming where I want to do only Candy Zouk music, because it's a style that I invented that people know it's my style. I want to do like 5 Candy Zouk joints. And this is for my old fans from the beginning. I'm gonna do some songs for them, Candy Zouk style. And then I also want to do an Amapiano EP with just my piano stuff. And I plan to start releasing an album every year now, and not like wait to do 50 tracks, but have 20 tracks. So listen, I release a track every Friday. So every 20 Friday, I can just take all the tracks I release, add an extra 4 or 5 and release albums, because I don't see albums the way people see albums anymore. Online, I see albums as compilation of works that came out. So you can really have a different proposition every 20 weeks. If you can release 2 albums every year, you can really have different proposals every week in terms of what you're going to release and how you're going to release them. That's the beauty of it. So you can tell somebody, I mean, my answer if I was Drake, and I'm not, but my answer would have been, I understand what you said, and yeah, I understand you want to hear the rapping Drake, and you will have him in singles. When I release an album, I have money to make, and my money is in the streams. So yeah, I'm rapping for the kids because they are the ones buying the album. And I understand and I respect your opinion, but I'll have something for you soon. See you soon. And let me go to your show, call your people and come and have the conversation. And now we're going to make content that will blow up the internet. And understand, you Drake, you don't have to do all this, talk to the peasants. But to me, I would have been like, yo, that's a power move. His reply, it was a little, I mean, listen, the whole internet is happy. They have something to say. I believe that this was a little, I don't know. I wouldn't say weak, but the arguments were not that, listen, Joe Budden, you have failed at music. Oh, damn, these ads are. Okay. You have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you are doing in this clip, because this is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. Recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. Listen, I understand what he means. And it's kind of saying to people, listen, he's kind of telling somebody, listen, don't talk to me about how to make money in music when I know how to make money in music and you clearly don't. Because I'm winning and you didn't win. You quit that to become something else. Congrats for what you're doing now, but you're going to let me do my strategy. Listen, I had this conversation a lot when people tell me, yeah, you should do this, you should do that, you should stop doing this. And I'm like, listen, when I started doing albums with 40 or 50 songs, most people were telling me, there's too many songs. And me, I was telling people, listen, I got my strategy, and my strategy comes from years and years of analyzing data. And so I understand exactly what Drake is saying. And at the same time, I understand also the point of view of the others. I just believe that this conversation would be the best Joe Budden podcast episode. That would be an amazing conversation of, hey, I believe, why don't you do this, and then you can answer. Because I believe this. Instead of the media circus, but it's the US. They love it. That's where the arguments for me, I mean, listen, I'm petty, so at the same time, I kind of, listen, he said you switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke living shake to shake, and the raps you write at 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty and nicey jeans to screw up their face to Mood Music 29 and pretend you are great. Oh Lord. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. I do agree with him. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished all you need to, it's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in a generation to think that the whole everybody is entitled to their opinion is a real thing. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact that I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you need it, put in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a mother's house in the 973 and flies in first class in special occasions. To what Joe Budden responded, you'll grow up sooner or later. Father Time is undefeated. Yeah, listen. I completely agree with both of them. But I completely disagree with the way the conversation went. I believe that the fact that Joe Budden didn't succeed as rap after Pump It Up, but then with his podcast achieved greatness doing something else and doing something that worked more for him. And listen, I was never a fan of mood music. I was never a fan of Joe Budden personally as a rapper. He's a great rapper, but I mean, when I listen to his old music, it's not my thing. But as a podcaster, yeah, he found his lane. He found exactly what he needed to do at the right time. So does this mean that he cannot give constructive rap criticism? No, because he's a good rapper. Maybe not a successful, maybe not a commercial rapper, but he's considered one of the great pens. And as a podcaster, he arrived where, yeah, he just did something else. And actually somebody that just like me was on the internet for a long time and has been doing this podcast for years, and he's been on the internet doing this conversation for a long time. So actually, maybe success as a rapper was never for him, and actually success as a media personality, podcaster, commenter was actually the right lane for him. That's why, to me, the criticism of the arguments of yeah, listen, I am what you dreamt to be. That's a weak argument, but I understand it. And when I take it for me, for example, listen, I always wanted to be, when I was young, I wanted to be a rapper, and I really wanted to rap in English from France and make it out there as a rapper. And when my first album exploded and people started calling me Zouk artist or Kizomba artist or Compa artist, I was like, no, I'm a rapper. But as time continued and I became a pillar of Afro-Caribbean music, I started assuming my position, and then I started being also a record label exec, and I started really like becoming part of the culture, and I started becoming the pride of Africa and the West Indies. Then I started like, okay, maybe my mission was not what I wanted. Maybe I had to realize, oh, this is my mission. And now that I'm having my show here, people could say, oh, it's because you felt that rap. No, it's because what my destiny was this one. And now that I became super successful at music in a way that is completely not what I wanted when I was young, it just took me somewhere else. If I give critics, if I criticize a rap album or anything, something that has nothing to do with whatever, somebody cannot tell me, oh yeah, you failed at rap, so you cannot talk as if I don't know nothing about rap. Because listen, I rap with Wu-Tang, and I've been in studio with all these people, all these French rappers. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Because I'm famous in there doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about here. And that's why I understand what Drake says, but at the same time, I believe that his argument, when it comes to the second part of his argument about the, hey, nobody can say shit because I have a plane and you don't. That's where I think it's weak a little bit. Where I agree with him is when he says, listen, never let other people sway you off of your path with their commentary. On this, I completely agree. And if I was Drake, I wouldn't have at Joe Budden for that. I would have just had this thing just like that. Just that. Listen, everybody out there listening, do what you have to do, because this is exactly how I've been doing my career. My whole life, I had people telling me you should do it like this or you should do it like that. Or I had the Congolese people telling me, oh, you should do rumba because you're from Congo. And then you have the West Indies people, oh, you should sing in Creole if you do Zouk and not in English. And like, listen, I'm doing me. And it's working for me. Now, you want me to go there or you want me to go there? I understand. And I'm explaining to you why I'm going there. This is my calling. And we can disagree about that. It doesn't have to be a circus. And you have no idea the amount of time that people tell me you should do this. Like, listen, with something going on reaching 25 million streams and 10 billion streams on TikTok, I got a lot of people telling me what I should do. A lot of people. They come out everywhere telling me, oh, you should do this, or you should have done that. Hey, I would have. And me, yeah, I tell them, I didn't arrive here with your help. So now you're all arriving with ideas, and I don't need your ideas. Not at all. I don't care about none of y'all. Interesting conversations. Listen, I'm listening to your opinions, but I take them as opinions. A lot of people tell me all the time, yeah, you should do songs like One Love. And I have an answer for these people. The reason why your argument is invalid is because I have 20 songs like One Love. And when you tell me you should do them, I can just give you the 19 links of the other songs that I did just like One Love the last 20 years. Here they are. Why are you telling me I should do a song like One Love when they're here? Because you don't listen to it. You don't listen to my music. You just come out of nowhere with an argument, and then you didn't do your homework before talking. Happens to me all the time, but it doesn't frustrate me. And my answer is like, yeah, oh yeah, good. Here it is. Oh, I didn't know about that song. There you go. Or, yeah, but it's not the same thing. This means that you want me to give you the same emotion as back in the days, but I can't, because back in the days you were falling in love for the first time. Now you fell in love for the 10th time. It's not the same thing. I understand it. And that's why, I found that it was a little too much. But I completely agree with what Drake said here when he said, don't ever let nobody give you your blueprint. No, listen. I'm about to surpass Michael Jackson in terms of how many number ones I did, and this. Listen, this is what I'm doing. And listen, if you're too old to understand it, all good. But this is where I'm going. And I understand that you would want me to do this non-commercial, cater to the rap people and stuff. I understand. You want me to go to that direction because this is what you like, but me, I can do all these things. And this reminds me of a conversation I had with one of my mentors in 1998. He was telling me, you are going in too many directions at the same time. You should pick one direction and do it well. Instead of doing 10% of 10 things, you should be able to do one thing and do 100% of that. So concentrate on that one thing. And me, in my head, I was like, I want to do these 10 things. But I concentrated in doing that one thing well until I was able to do 100% of that thing. And when I was done being there, I went to the second thing and I learned to do 100% of it too. And then I learned to mix. Then I learned to do this. Then I learned to run a label. And then we had the same conversation 20 years after. And the same mentor told me, damn, now you know, I told you to have to stop to do 10 things at the same time because you were only doing 10% of the 10 things. And look at you now doing 100% of 20 things. And I was like, yeah, that's me. And he was like, you different, bro. I was like, thanks, but it's thanks to you that I learned to process myself and to understand that, listen, when you build different, when you're on that genius level in terms of creativity, you have to understand what people are telling you, because you're not by yourself. You're working for the market, you're working for the people. But then you have to then understand that you have to be able to give to the market something that is comestible to them. And at the same time, you have to be able to not be bored by that one thing that it's so easy to you because you do it the same as, you do it like you're breathing. Listen, I can take my microphone out and have a song ready to be released in 20 minutes. I have beats ready. I turn on my thing, click on 3 buttons, open Logic, take any song, improvise lyrics. In 20 minutes, I can have a song done. So when you reach that level, and it's not just a bad song, I'm talking about a hit song. And why I can say that is because that's the way I did a bunch of these songs that have millions of streams today. When you're on that level of it's just too easy for you, you have to find things to do to not be bored, and people might not understand. The same way of people like, why are you doing a show on YouTube? You don't need to do that. That's true. But if I didn't do it, I'd be bored. And I want to be able to talk and express myself, talk about the things I want to talk about. Listen, if I want to do a whole show when I explain to people the Israel-Palestine conflict, I want to be able to do that without people telling me, shut up and do music. That's why I control my whole environment. I control my YouTube, my music. I own everything so that I can do everything and talk about the things I want. And if I want to become a geopolitical commentator, I can do it because I have the ability and the intelligence to do it. And I don't want nobody to come and their only argument is go back to making music. I hate this type of stupid argument. So I understand both, and I understand how this conversation between Drake and Joe Budden could have gone. And listen, I really wish, and that these people would sit down and do a video together, a conversation, or that Drake would come to the podcast and not feel that by doing it, he's giving Joe like the best interview he can. I mean, Because you could feel that, yeah, I'm coming and I'm giving you the force. Now, listen. I believe that Drake got, unless he's just doing this for the promotion, I believe that Joe got under his skin for the wrong reasons. I believe that in reality, you should be able to take the criticism of somebody that you respect, if you do, and that has a voice in whatever media, and be able to sit down with those people and just sit down and make history together and say, listen, okay, let's have this conversation. Do you believe that I should do this? Or yeah, I believe that you, listen, there's a reason why I do this, and this. Because personally, when I have conversations with, when I go to some interviews, and this is the reason why I don't accept a lot of interviews, and I prefer podcasts that I can talk for an hour rather than a 10-minute interview, when people usually ask you the stupidest question ever, and most of the time these people don't even do their homework. They don't have no idea what they're talking about. I'd rather do a good 2-hour show when I can express and have conversation and go deep in the conversation about subjects. Because when we want to talk about our love for music, I want to talk to people who love music as well. When I want to talk about my music, I want to talk about somebody who knows my music. When I want to talk about the market, the business, I want to talk to people who understand the market, understand the business, because my intelligence feels bored when I arrive to some interviews, and the first thing I realize after 2 minutes that they're just reading my Wikipedia and telling me, oh, so when you were 7 years old, your mother offered you a synthesizer and this changed your life. Can you explain to us? And I'm like, oh Lord. When somebody talks to me about Candy Zook, talks to me about hey, how come somebody from Congo ended up doing this and that and and hey, do you think Zook is dead? Whenever, like, those real conversations, that's where I get excited. And that's where I'm like, wait, damn, we only have 20 minutes? Because listen, with one answer, I can finish the whole interview. That's why I love podcasts. And that's why every podcast I go to, they all tell me, we need a part 2. We need a part 2 and 3. Because your answers brings more question to me, because you are elevating the conversation. And I believe both of those gentlemen are in a position that they could elevate the conversation. And listen, if I was Drake's management and I was Joe Budden's management, I would tweet at each other and be like, yo, that would be the best time to sit down and go do that episode. And either one-on-one, or he goes to Canada and we shoot that thing at Drake's house, or he goes to New York and he sits down there and you do podcast history. Because that would be a crazy conversation, and I'm sure the whole thing would be so respectful, because I believe that it's something that I felt for a long time. And I aging, I was like, all right. All my rap, the rap people that I really wanted to accept me when I was young, when I became the king of Zouk, they were all mocking me. And I felt away for a long time, until they all start doing Afro and Caribbean music themselves. And they all start telling me, damn, you were ahead of us. You were back to the roots way before us. And this made me realize, oh yeah, because all of these people, all these French rappers of my generation that used to laugh when I became the number one Zouk artist, after 10 years, they all came to me for advice. They all came to me for beats. They all came to me saying, hey, oh, by the way, I'm Cap Virgin. Could you do a Cap Virgin beat for me? Oh. And then at a point, they started respecting you for going to the roots before them. And understanding, yeah, listen, we all dreams of these Americans, but actually we are from Congo, we are from Cape Verde, we are from Mali, we are from Zimbabwe originally. But back in the days when these people were like, I would feel away. But today I'm having amazing conversation with all these people. So I really believe that, listen, if these people would combine their strength and go sit down and listen, I know, because I feel the same way for a lot of things. I don't need to do these interviews because I have my own platform. But sometimes you have to be like, listen, let me be smart. Let me go sit down on the Joe Budden podcast and make history. Listen, you can even do a revenue share. Listen, whatever you want to. But, I mean, you don't need that. But I think that would be the better outcome from these conversations that I'm seeing about those of you.